Welcome back to another episode of the FallBall Fellas. Once again, it is me and Hunter today. We are going to be going over both college and NFL in the same episode, so only one drop this week. Phil had to take care of something. We've promised all three of us will be on here moving forward, all right? So, Hunter, I know you weren't able to see too much of the games on Saturday, correct?
Yeah, not too much. I was, out celebrating, visiting a friend down in Georgia. But we are back to the OG squad. Second time doing it this year.
Yes, sir. I actually was out doing some stuff Saturday during the day, so I didn't get home till around 4 or 5 p.m. But I was keeping up with these games. I had a 11 leg parlay go into the last four games, and that was to win 9K. And the games just looked terrible from the start, so I didn't really have too much cheering going on there. But we'll recap some of the biggest games from this past weekend, and we will be a pretty much segment-based podcast from here on out. We're still fine-tuning some names for some of these, but we'll just call this the college football recap, and we'll try to think of a fancier name moving forward. So what, in your opinion, were you able to obviously see who won all these games, correct?
A majority of them. I did see that there
Okay.
was a nasty blowout that was just shouldn't be a top 10 team anymore. They should be out of the rankings after that loss.
Yeah, so that's actually my top top topic for the day, I guess, was Indiana. So the question coming into this season, a lot of people were asking was, who was this year's Indiana? And no one said it's Indiana. Can we agree that they look like a playoff team just right in this moment?
I think that they could look like a playoff team, and they've got they play who are their big games coming up? They've got Michigan, right? And then
They got Iowa away this week.
But who are their two big games if they beat?
Let me check that. Once again, that was not even a competition. First drive of the game, Indiana's defense gets a stop. You can tell Illinois' offensive line struggling a little bit to protect. They block the punt and return it for a touchdown. Literally first drive of the game for Illinois. They get their punt blocked for a touchdown. They then subsequently go right down the field on a long passing play, score to tie it up. And then from that point on, utter domination from Indiana. Line of scrimmage wasn't even fair. Like Indiana and Penn State played later this year, and we'll get into some Penn State later. But that game terrifies me because Indiana along the lines of scrimmage is probably one of the most talented teams in the Big Ten, if not the most. They were getting pressure on every single drop back. Every single drop back.
I mean, it's not just their pressures, though. It's their turnovers, too. Their last two games, they've had 10 turnovers, I believe, which is insane. If you're getting 10 turnovers in 2 games, 5 a game, I mean, that you're just setting yourself up to win.
Absolutely. And as long as Indiana gets past Iowa, I don't really think of this too much as a trap game. I don't really think Iowa's offense is too much to be scared about. They play Oregon away the following week, or 2 weeks down the road, and then they play Penn State away later in the season. So once again, their schedule is pretty manageable from this point forward. If they go 10-2, they're a playoff team. If their only loss against Oregon and Penn State, I will right hand up the gods say that they will be in the playoff. Illinois struggled. They lost their top 6, I think, cornerbacks. So they're going to be struggling. And we'll get into this game for this coming week later. USC is coming to Champaign this weekend, and we'll talk about our predictions then. Outside of that, Texas Tech ran away with the game late in that fourth quarter against Utah. All of us did pick Texas Tech, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. Tech's starting quarterback did get injured on a kind of a late slide. He got hit right in the head. Dude got ejected. Whole big thing. But the backup actually looked better than the starting quarterback. So I think Tech's even scarier than we thought. That's always a weird situation where it's like, oh, the guy playing backup is better than the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it a little bit in the NFL too. There was some of that, but what was his injury? Is he going to be coming back anytime soon? Because are they going to be having that conversation of do they keep their backup in or do they bring the starter back?
I do a little bit of my own independent research. I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to the Cover 3 podcast. Not telling you guys to go listen to that over here. But CBS Sports has a good podcast if you want to learn more about college football. I listen to it probably 4 to 5 hours a week to make sure that I have the latest up-to-depth news for our podcast. And then obviously Twitter helps with that. But the coach was trying to play it off like he's playing this next week. He's not. He's going to be out for a week or two. It looked like a concussion, obviously. So the dude's not going to play the following week. They might be, if I'm looking at the schedule correctly, they're on a bye. So it's going to give him time to heal up a little bit. But I think he's probably going to miss one game, 2 weeks total. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, that means that there will be a conversation if he does miss the game after the bye and they're back up. I wish I knew their names because I hate just saying this shit. But there's going to be a conversation there.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I said. Ish.
Yeah. So 2 quarterbacks are Baron Morton was their starting quarterback, and Will Hammond is their backup. So
Will Hammond sounds like a starting quarterback name.
Mm-hmm. Baron Morton has injury problems. He's gotten hurt, I think, the last 3 seasons. So this isn't too much of a surprise. Now, a couple other big games that we had this weekend. Michigan pretty much dominated the line of scrimmage, was able to do at will what they wanted with Nebraska. I'm really getting sick of watching Dylan Raiola. He tries to be Mahomes so much that it makes him a less effective player. So just if Raiola is listening to this, which I know he isn't, dude, just play your game. Yeah, just play your game, man. Stop trying to act like someone else. If you played your own game instead of doing weird sidearm stuff and actually stepping into your throws, your football team would be better. You have a lot of talented guys around you. Stop trying to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. All right? Be yourself.
Play your own game, fool.
Yeah, literally. But Michigan didn't look great offensively. Their run game was dominant, though. They own the lines of scrimmage. Nebraska is going to have some trouble in the trenches this year, which you cannot do in the Big Ten. Another biggish game here was Oklahoma beating Auburn. Now, we have some more news coming out of this game, and I did send a text in the chat earlier, but this got announced about 3 to 4 hours ago. Money Mateer is going to be out. They're projecting about a month, and this is going to be a tough month for Oklahoma, to say the least. I'm going to rattle off the schedule for Oklahoma the rest of the season once I find this. But, I mean, we all picked Oklahoma. We weren't surprised at this outcome. They had 10 sacks over the course of the game. 10. Yeah. How they iced the game, there was 2 or 3 sacks in a row and a third and 29 at the 5-yard line. They sacked Jackson Arnold in the end zone to seal the game. So, very surprising. Now let's see. Oklahoma, their schedule. Now they play Kent State, which is the worst FBS team you could possibly play. They then go on the road to Texas, on the road to South Carolina. They're at home against number 13 Ole Miss, away at 15 Tennessee, away at 17 Alabama, home against 20 Missouri, and then at home against 4 LSU. They have 6 out of their last 8 games are top 20 ranked teams as of this moment.
So how many games is he missing? If he's out a month, he's missing what? 3 games? So what are their next 3 games?
So they have a bye this weekend. They then play Kent State and then Texas and South Carolina. So
at least he should be back for their harder ones. I mean, it sounds like they're stacked towards the end of the season.
The thing about Oklahoma, and a lot of people write them off, they are not a SEC championship playoff caliber team without Mateer. I really don't know what they have as a backup right now. Their defense is top 3 in the country, though, so they will be able to stay into games, but I don't know how their offense is going to play without their star quarterback that they paid a lot of money for in the offseason. Bo Prabula, big drive at the end of that game to lead Missouri past South Carolina. Ellers looked pretty darn good as well, so it was a little bit of a surprise that he played, but that Missouri running game, and if anyone does not know the name Ahmad Hardy, start learning that name. He's the number 1 FBS running back as of right now. Dude breaks – Hunter, you would love this guy. He reminds me of honestly, who does he remind me of?
Saquon Barkley.
No, okay. He's not like Saquon. He's a bowling ball. I'm trying to think of some guy that I could.
He just runs angry down the field.
He runs angry. He's like a Derrick Henry.
Is he like the old Pacheco? He hates the ground.
Nah, Pacheco's terrible, dude.
I said old Pacheco, pre-injury Pacheco was good.
Bro, he was still bad pre-injury. He just got all
wasn't
the carries.
Bad. He was much better pre-injury.
That's fair. What, for 1 year?
Yeah, you gotta give him credit.
I would I would compare his running style to Derrick Henry. He is a bowling ball. He doesn't have quite the physical characteristics as Derrick Henry, or else you would have heard his name by now. But he has the most yards after contact. It's like he's averaging like 7 yards per carry after contact, which is insane for college. Other stories here. We talked about this. Florida overhyped to start the season. They are now 1-3. The same for Clemson. Clemson's a dead team walk-in. I think Florida might give you a little bit more since their SEC schedule and their defense is still playing hard. But gosh, both teams are so bad to watch. It's painful.
It's bad. I mean, what's his name? What's the Clemson coach's name?
Dabo.
That's right. Dabo, watching his interview where he's like, if you guys don't like to win, then fire me. Like, I like to win. No, you don't. You don't like to win anything. You just lost to Syracuse. You're not winning anything the rest of the season. Like, he should be gone immediately. This is atrocious.
Now, I'm not going to go that far in terms of firing Dabo because he has 2 or 3 national championships under his belt, but I would give him a 2-year window and give him some financial help and say, if you don't get accustomed to where the game's going, then you're out. I'm not going to fire him for one bad year because they did make the playoffs. They won a national championship in, yes, like 2018, 2019. But Clemson's still a top 10 football program in the college landscape. His attitude is giving me a little bit less of a leash on him now because it's basically I'm too big for this school. Like, you're not going to touch me. And I don't like that type of attitude. But have you heard in college you have this thing called the quit factor? It's kind of like a team tanking.
Yes.
I think Clemson's going to quit. They don't play hard.
Yeah.
Florida plays hard at least. So I don't think they're going to quit. I don't know how long Napier's going to be their head coach for because people were calling for his head midway through last year. And
yeah, but what does quitting do for your team? What does that do for you?
So,
like, tanking in the NFL, there's a purpose. What is doing that in college do for you at all?
Honestly, it doesn't do much. It's more of a mental aspect of you're not playing for the playoff anymore. You and your coaches aren't seeing eye to eye. Like, they don't play hard for Cade, so he must not be that good of a leader in the locker room. Oh. It's just the concept of like an O-line quitting on his quarterback because he's
so they're literally quitting. Okay, so that's not the same as tanking. They're just quitting.
Yeah.
Tanking. Tanking is for
a
reason.
Mentally versus like actually systematically like giving up, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
I couldn't think of another way to equate it to, because no guys in the NFL are typically tanking because they have contract incentives the entire year. So they have a reason to keep playing. And you're playing for your next contract every snap in the NFL. And in college, if you're a high level athlete, you're probably going to get an offer from another team. But I think the last thing that I'll mention here is Arch Manning. Are we going to say he's back or not? He looked good, but they also played Sam Houston State. So is it good for his confidence being able to kind of run it up against a low-level team when he's been struggling all season? Or you just think this is what he should be doing type of situation?
Listen, he looked good. Crap team. I think he needed it for his confidence. I think that all QBs need that. But no, I'm not giving it to him yet. He needs to prove himself more. Like, it's one game against a crap team. I need to see it all season long. I need to see him pull that out against a good defense. Then maybe I'll swing that way. I've said this since the beginning that he needs to prove himself. He needs to get some time under his belt. I just don't think that you can give it to him after one game against Sam Houston State.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know Texas' schedule off the top of my head, but we did talk about it. They play Oklahoma in a few weeks. So he'll have to definitely be right by that point in time. But I don't know how Texas has gotten this much of a cupcake schedule the first 2 years in the SEC. It gives Arch a chance to kind of zoom in or lock in, I guess. So they're on a bye, and then their first game is going to be away at Florida. So I actually think that's going to be a good testament to see where he's at developmental-wise, since Florida's defense has been one of the better defenses in all of college football so far. So we'll go with that. Yeah, I agree with you, though. You can't say someone's back when he's just playing terrible competition. You have to show it against the big dogs for me to fully believe in you.
Listen, now, trust is hard to earn and easy to lose. Just like I just said about Dabo, He's got one bad season. I'm ready to let him go. But if you have one good game, I'm not giving you the hype. You got to prove it to me.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you there. So we are into our pretty big college football segment here. We are going to do our fall ball 5.
Hold on, before we get into
graphic.
That, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about our team for a second.
What are we going to talk about that for the game though?
No. We're going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about him right now. Drew Aller sucks. What is happening to him this year? What is happening?
What are we talking about? What are we talking about here?
Did
you see you probably saw the QBR stat and everything. QBR is the worst statistic in all of college.
What do you mean?
It takes your success rate and how much you factor into your team success on a given play-to-play basis. So if you're running the entire game and your defense is leading you, your QBR is going to be lower. So it is just showing that he is not the main factor that Penn State's winning. And when has a quarterback ever been the main factor in Penn State winning?
When we had Trace McSorley.
We had Saquon on that team. Saquon was a main factor there too.
After Saquon,
if we're gonna talk about Trace, like Trace is not a better college quarterback than Drew Aller. As much as people want to say, that team might have been more electrifying, but also look at who we had at wide receiver. Like that team was crazy. But also not to go into like 2016. I don't like all the statistics.
Not looking great this year. I don't think he's looking great.
I'm giving him some benefit of the doubt. We are year 2 in a system. We don't play something that's advantageous for his skill set. And I'll tell anyone that wants to listen to this. We should have kept Bo Pribula, not because Bo's a better quarterback, not because he's a better quarterback. Bo is better for the system that Penn State runs. Okay? I'll say that. Because Kodal Nicki comes from a Jalen Daniels Kansas team in which he looked like one of the best OCs of all time. He had a mobile quarterback, could throw very well on the run. Now, Drew Aller is a more pro prototype. He is more NFL ready. Like Pribula is never going to start a game in his NFL life, and Aller is probably going to be an NFL starter day one, if we're being fully honest here.
I think that's a crazy statement.
I think he's a top 10 draft pick, and he still is. I don't think he's played himself out of that. I just don't think Penn State quarterbacks look good in their offense because they lean on the run and they use the tight ends. They're not a team that's going to go out and sling the rock 40 to 50 times like some of these other teams. And if we look, there's been no quarterback this year so far that has taken a step and looked like a number 1 overall draft pick so far. People want to say Nussmeier. He's looked awful too. I don't even want to talk about Nuss. Like, there's no one who is dramatically playing better than Aller right now at the quarterback position in college that is like a high-level draft prospect. You want to say Fernando Mendoza? Sure. But also, he's not a draft prospect as of now.
I think that Aller goes first round. Don't know about top 10. And I definitely don't know about starting day 1. I don't think that he will be starting.
It fully depends on the situation. People will say I compare him to the Will Levis strong arm kind of thing. Will Levis had no college success whatsoever. If we want to look at that, at least Aller has college success, but that QBR statistic, I'm sure you saw the one where it was, if you spiked the ball every single play, you'd have a higher quarterback or QBR than Drew Aller. That was just a false statement. That's just not true.
I didn't believe that. No, I didn't believe that.
You have a 0 QBR if you do that. They were doing a passer rating of if you spike the ball, you would have a higher passer rating than Drew Aller's QBR. But those are two completely different standards. One is on 100, the other one's a 158.3 or something like that. So, but QBR is team success factored into them.
No, QBR means a lot.
Yeah, but it's quarterback success factored in on a play-by-play basis to the team success. So you will genuinely have a lower QBR if your defense and running game are good. I'm just telling you that right now. It's not like I'm trying to glaze them.
You still have a high QBR if you run the ball.
Yeah, I'm just saying people use QBR as like, look at the top 10 guys in college. Drew Aller's never going to be a top 10 QBR guy because we run the ball. One of the best looking quarterbacks last year was Kyle McCord. I don't think he's not good.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. My point is he's got a low QBR. Like he hasn't looked that amazing. I just don't think he's looked that amazing. Maybe sucks was a hard and
that's where I draw the line.
maybe it was aggressive because I'm
Yeah.
an Eagles fan. We lose hope in people on our teams within half a second. So
You guys
it
booed
was a
your
little
entire
bit.
team at halftime, so
Yeah,
it
we'll get into
worked.
that. We'll get into
It
that.
worked.
All
But
right, let's move on to our top 5 games.
I want to clarify.
The
Drew
fellas
Aller has not
5.
looked great this year. I just have been arguing with a lot of people on social media because they just don't understand that that's a joke and that's just not even a true statistic. So, yes, he needs to step it up if we want to beat a team like Oregon, which we're going to get into here. I still think if he plays game manager, we could still beat some top teams. But he didn't look like a good game manager the first 3 weeks. So, all right, we got the fall ball 5. Well, we got all 3 of us together. I'm going to make some dope music intros to these segments. But
It's
that
just
will
gonna be
be
me. It's just gonna be me beatboxing.
no.
That's gonna be your dope intro.
We could do that, but yeah,
Like,
fall ball 5. We will get into that. Couple of big matchups though before we get into the 5 that we're going to be selecting. We got Ohio State's going to be playing at Washington. Not really a trap game for them, but the line's only 8.5. Do you have any thoughts on this game whatsoever? Washington's looked really good thus far this year, but
I think
do you think
Washington's
this is
looked all
close?
right, but I don't think it's gonna be close. But I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. Like I don't think Ohio State wins by like 16. I could see them winning by 10. I would probably take their line.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm at too. Ohio State has lost some weird games, but that was like mid 2010s. So I think they'll win. Washington's a tough place to play, but they'll probably pull that off. Um, Auburn at Texas A&M. Got any thoughts here?
I'm taking Auburn.
You gonna take Auburn over
I
A&M?
would take Auburn in this game.
Okay.
At
Let's see how.
least taking Auburn spread.
I would take Auburn spread in this. I don't know necessarily about them winning, but A&M's defense is very suspect. So I think Auburn and Cam Coleman can definitely
Cam
look really
Coleman
good.
floated this
He's a
weekend.
stud.
He floated.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, go back and watch Cam Coleman's touchdown. He was
Mm-hmm.
floating. You could have paused it, went up, grabbed a drink, made yourself some food, came back, and he would have still been in the air. Like he was just, it was insane catch.
Yeah, he's a top 2 wide receiver in college, behind Jeremiah, obviously. But he's the second best wide receiver in college. And if anyone tries telling you differently, don't listen to him. This man's going to be a first round draft pick whenever he's eligible. I think he's got one more year before he is, but dude's a freak. He was floating. But yeah, I'll probably take A&M on that, but Auburn spread. I think A&M's offense is a little too good. But once again, they have a history of losing stupid games every single year. So they could blow this. Then the other one, another SEC matchup, Tennessee at Mississippi State. I'm probably just taking Tennessee here. I'm still not bought in on Mississippi State being a top tier team, even though they beat Arizona State. Just I'm not going to buy in.
I have nothing to say about this game. Yeah, I would just take Tennessee. I don't think
I
they
like the
have
over.
a chance. What's the over set at? Probably like 54.
Dude, I just gotta start like memorizing every single thing off the top of my head. Remembering all the lines, all that kind of stuff. So let's see what the over is real quick. And then we will
I'm gonna
actually
say it's at
get in.
54 and a half.
No, it's 62.5. So I might
Wow.
not take that over.
Wow.
I honestly could see Tennessee dropping like 45 though. So I don't think that's too crazy of a line. 45-20 gets you there. All right, now we're going to go into our official Fall Ball 5. Same thing as always. We're going to start games with the highest spread to games with the lowest spread. Our first matchup that we're looking at, and a lot of people might be scratching their head about it, we're going to look at a Big 12 matchup. Not a common one that we see, but yes, Arizona is in the Big 12, traveling to Iowa State. Now, these are 2 undefeated Big 12 teams, which is why I put this game in here. So what are we thinking here?
I don't know. This is the one that I literally have been sitting here and thinking about this entire podcast. I'm like, I have no idea who to take in this game. I might just go opposite of whatever you take.
All right. Well, I will be announcing Phil's picks as well. Phil is picking Iowa State. I'm going to go
Arizona.
Okay. I'm going Iowa State. So there you go. That was going to be the opposite of me. I have nothing to talk about with this game. I don't really know how good Arizona is. They beat Kansas State in the first Big 12 game, but we know Kansas
Well,
State's
Kansas
garbage
State's
at this point.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And Iowa State beat Kansas State as well. So we don't know too much about these teams. Iowa State beat Iowa as well, but who knows?
Yeah, but that was a
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm going off this. Phil picked USC. I'm picking USC. If there's 6 corners out for Illinois, which there are, and they're battling injuries, Jade Maeva is one of the most talented quarterbacks in all of college. USC is going to rout Illinois.
Yeah, I'm taking USC. I'm taking alternate spread. I'm taking 12.5.
Yep. It's in Champaign, so that's the only reason I'm like a little bit scared of maybe taking that alt line, but I'd like them winning by a touchdown.
That's why I didn't take 15.5.
Yeah.
But
we're all on USC. If Illinois wins this game, it is fully it would surprise me a lot just with what these teams have. All right. Now, I'll save Oregon Penn State for last because it's our team, so we're breaking the rules a little bit. We're going to go Alabama at Georgia. Georgia is a 3-point favorite. Huge game. This game last year was one of the most exciting of all of college football. We had Ryan Williams catching a back shoulder throw, breaking 3 tackles after Alabama gave up a 28-point lead. And Alabama gave up the lead, and one play later took the lead for good. I'm going to go with Bama here. It's surprising, but I like how their quarterback's been playing. And I think Alabama's just got more talented skill positions, and then I think their defense is better. So I'm taking Bama.
I agree. I think that Bama probably is the more skilled team here, but I just don't think they're disciplined enough to beat Georgia.
Okay.
I just don't think that they've got it in them to hold a close game like Georgia is going to have. I think it'll be close, but I don't think that they're disciplined enough and have that team leadership to win it in the last quarter. I don't think they have that last 5 minutes in them.
Okay. Yeah. And Phil also selected Georgia here. That's a toss-up in my opinion. I assumed you guys were going to pick Georgia, so I wanted to take Bama. But also, I think Bama upgraded at quarterback in the offseason. Jalen Milroe was not a great passer of the football. He could run, that's for sure. But Ty Simpson's a better thrower of the football. And this just reeks of a lower scoring, like 24-20 type of game. And I think Bama can pull that out. This line has been shifting so much since I first wrote this game down. LSU at Ole Miss. LSU started as, I think at opening, this was like a 2.5-point spread in favor of LSU. It has shifted all the way to Ole Miss being favored by 1.5. What are your thoughts here, Hunter?
I'm taking Ole Miss here. I mean, I saw that. I saw LSU open up at the 2.5, and I immediately wanted Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss at home, that's a hard place to come in and play. I don't think LSU's got it in them to do that. LSU's a great team, and if this was in LSU, I'd pick LSU. But I think I got to take Ole Miss here.
Phil is also on Ole Miss. This is a game where I'm going to be probably hammering LSU. I think there's and that's my selection for the game. I think a lot of people have been overreacting to some situations that have been happening. Yes, LSU hasn't looked fantastic offensively, but I do think they're a top 3 defense in the SEC, and Ole Miss has not faced a defense with a pulse. Their last 2 games have been Arkansas, in which they probably should have lost the game. They got a lucky fumble. And then against Tulane, who is not that great of a football team and does not have a defense. Their quarterback, so funny enough, their starting quarterback was their backup coming into the year. He's got a sick name, Trinidad Chambliss. And dude can ball. He's a gamer. But I don't think he's facing actual defense this year. And Ole Miss always loses some sort of questionable game. I just don't trust Lane Kiffin. So we got our last game. This is a 3.5-point spread. Penn State favored at home, whiteout game. It's going to be a raucous environment in Happy Valley. We're all going to be in town. We're going to get some live videos of us doing some predictions, talking to some tailgaters. Going to be posting that to social media. It's just going to be an awesome weekend. Who you picking?
Give me the Quackers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Who am I picking?
Yeah.
Give me the Nittany Lions, baby. Give me the Nittany Lions. Where else is it harder to play football than at Beaver Stadium in a whiteout. There's no other, at night. There's no other No, there's nowhere else that's harder to play than at Beaver Stadium, a night game in a whiteout. Oregon,
They changed the name.
You can quack your way away. All right, you got little flights. Go fly away.
A little flight. I think ducks can fly. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I almost said they were flightless birds, and then I was like, nah, they're flight birds.
Hey, this game cannot come soon enough. I've been anxious since college ended this past Saturday. I'm also going with Penn State. Phil's going with Penn State. We got to rep our team. That's why I got the jersey on right now. Now, to go in depth a little bit here. Penn State, if we're talking about the teams from last year to this year, Oregon's team has changed a lot. Let's just be real here. Penn State's has not changed a lot. The one issue Penn State had last year was stopping Oregon. Obviously, the game was 45-38 in the Big Ten, or 45-37, something like that.
Great game to watch.
Oregon doesn't have a 55-year-old quarterback playing for them anymore. They lost Tez Johnson, and people are going to say DeCorian Moore is better. I'm not there to believe it yet. Oregon has not played a team with a pulse. Don't say Northwestern has a pulse. Don't say Oklahoma State has a pulse. People are like 69-3 against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State just lost by 2+ scores to oh my gosh, I can't think of their name. Tulsa. Tulsa just beat Oklahoma State, and also we didn't say this. Oklahoma State fired their revered coach, Mike Gundy. One of the best coaches in the last 25 years, Mike Gundy, is now fired. Oklahoma State doesn't have a pulse. They really didn't look that impressive against Oregon State, who is probably, if not the worst old Power 4 team outside of Washington State. Those two teams are terrible. All right, Penn State is going to dominate the line of scrimmage, and I've been doing a lot of research on this. Penn State now has Jim Knowles. They have an upgraded offensive coordinator. We can see from how Clemson is playing defensively, Tom Allen was holding that defense back. Clemson can't cover I wanted to think of something funny to say. They can't cover, though. Penn State is going to win this football game. Big game James is going to win a game. We have won 7 straight whiteouts. This is going to be the biggest one that we've had since 2021. Again, still, people don't look into this. They are traveling and going to be in another time zone.
Did you just say we won 7 straight whiteouts?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. We have not lost since Ohio State in 2017.
Hold on, people. Hold on. My friend ChatGPT is going to help me out here because I don't know if I know that's true.
We have not lost a whiteout. We also haven't played Ohio State and Michigan in a whiteout since Michigan in 2019 or something like that. We played Auburn, Washington. I think Iowa might have been a whiteout game. So, yeah. We have not lost since Ohio State. I think it was our junior year where we blew a 2-touchdown lead, or else that would be a 8 or 9 game.
Are we really just that old? Is that why I'm thinking that?
Yes.
Are we really just that old?
Once again, we also had Ohio State last year was a big noon game, so we didn't have them as the whiteout. We played Washington as the whiteout and beat them by 50.
Yeah, our last loss was in 2018 to Ohio State.
2018 Ohio State, yeah. And we lost by 1 point. That was the 4th and 5 draw up the middle. I remember it. I was there. Angry.
That was when I started screaming, fire James Franklin, and I've been there ever since. But if he wins today, I still think we fire him. But if he wins this weekend, if wins this weekend, then maybe I won't say fire James Franklin anymore.
We won't get into James Franklin again. But if I don't want to fire him if we lose, quite frankly, unless there's a coach with a better track record than James Franklin that just walks through the front door and gives us a better chance to win those big games. I don't want to fire him because we have the best thing that we have at this current point in time. We're going to have to pay $50 million a year to get another coach to come to us. But give me Penn State. They're going to dominate the lines of scrimmage. Knowles is going to get the defense right. He's already said he's going to play more zone. If we play man-to-man against their twitchy wide receivers, probably going to be an issue. They also have a quarterback that looks good, but he has not proven in college yet. Dante Moore was a highly coveted recruit. He has not played in this type of environment ever before. All right. He's not 55 like Dylan Gabriel was. So it's going to be a little bit of a downfall. Yes. So before we get into NFL, all we're going to say, Phil's team of destiny. He's not here to say it. I got no reasoning on this. I understand, though. He is picking the Vanderbilt Commodores, so hopefully, like Nebraska, they do not lose. The Vandy Commodores, they have looked really good. They got revenge, I guess, over Georgia State, a team they lost against last year in heartbreaking fashion. Vanderbilt, go Commodores. I'm a fan. I like rooting for them. Diego Pavia is a stud, but I don't have too much to say. And the next episode, after they win this weekend, Phil will probably be sticking with them, I'd assume. All right, Hunter, your bread and butter. Give me a little rundown of NFL this past weekend.
NFL, baby.
I watch every game, so.
You watch every game. You watch every single game.
Yeah, I watch Red Zone 1 and 4. I watched the night game, and I watched the Monday night game. And Thursday, I guess, too. But
yeah, we'll save the three big games I want to talk about are the Eagles-Rams game, the Packers-Browns game, and the Ravens-Lions game. So I'm going to save those for a little bit later. I want to start off with two QBs that one's a rookie, one's in his second year. Both in their second year. The Falcons and the Panthers. The Falcons' offense has been really bad. Is Penix in his?
No, Bryce is in his third.
Bryce is in his third. Yeah, you're right. The Falcons' offense has been really bad this year. They are a very predictable offense. They don't have any scheme that goes just over the middle passing. Everything's just to the outside. Drake London hasn't been getting – he's been getting the targets, but the throws have been bad. Every play is predictable from them. You know when Bijan's running the ball. You know when they're throwing the ball. And you know when they're throwing the ball, you know who they're throwing it to. Like, it's a really bad offense. All that Michael Penix has been able to do is dump the ball off to Bijan and let him sprint for 90 yards.
And he's been cooking, too.
He has. Through the air. He's been insane for fantasy. If you have him, I bet you're loving life. Another game that J.J. McCarthy coming out, Wentz coming in for the Vikings, and just laying a smackdown on the Bengals. The Bengals are really bad. But I do have to say, so this is what I hinted at earlier when saying a backup came in. I think Carson Wentz looks better than JJ, but it wasn't their offense. It wasn't their passing that won them that game.
It was their defense.
I mean, it was their defense and Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason balled out like 135 yards, 2 TDs, and their defense, they had, I think, a fumble recovery, an interception. How many turnovers in that game? Like, probably
there were like four to five. I know Browning threw 2 to 3 picks, and there was a fumble, and it was Isaiah Rodgers. He had a fumble recovery touchdown in a pick six. I picked up Minnesota in a couple leagues to play because I was like, they got a good defense and they're playing Browning. Maybe they'll have some success, and yeah, they did.
Yeah, Isaiah Rodgers has more touchdowns this year than a lot of other players, a lot of offensive players. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
He scored more touchdowns than the Bengals did. He scored more touchdowns than the Falcons did. I mean, I'm so upset that the Eagles let him go. Anyway, move on from that topic. But
he was an Eagle.
Yeah, he was, and we let him go. And I'm very, 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 I'm going to say it one more time, very upset we let him go because
he played for the Colts. I thought he played for the Colts. I was like, wait, he played for the Eagles? Okay.
He played for the Eagles after the Colts.
Yeah, okay. Got you.
Because our secondary is really bad, and we let him go, and that was a bad move on our part. Let's see.
They lost five turnovers, by the way, 2 picks and 3 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
That's atrocious. Do you think they pick up a quarterback? That's going to be the one question I have. Do you think the Bengals will trade for Jameis? I think they should get Jameis.
I would love to see them trade for. First of all, I thought you said the Vikings at first. I was like, no, they're not going to trade for a QB.
I might have said
Bengals. Yes, I think. No, you didn't say. You said the Bengals, but before you said the Bengals, I thought you were talking about the Vikings for a second. No, yeah, I think that the Bengals should absolutely trade for another QB, but more importantly, they should just drop their entire offensive line and trade for offense line because no matter who you put back there, even Jameson Winston, I mean, will come in and you know what his big thing is throwing the ball deep. He won't have enough time to throw the ball deep. They have like 2 seconds before they're getting sacked. I mean, there's no time for that offense to work. If you have any Bengals players on your team, fantasy-wise, sell them all. Sell them all now. I don't even care if it's Jamar Chase. Sell them.
Yep.
Get decent value for him because he'll still put up probably 15 to 20 points in some games. But, I mean, with that offensive line, there's nothing happening. You don't have any time to correlate any play. It's just really bad.
Yeah. So if you had any number one overall draft picks in your fantasy leagues, you are scraping the barrel right now to try to figure out what you can get for Jamar, because just quite frankly, at this point, I don't think the Bengals, with how they're looking, are going to be a playoff team by the time Burrow is able to come back. So he will sit out the year. If they don't trade for a quarterback by the end of like this next week's game, I would make sure you try to get whatever you can for these guys before their value totally tanks. I have T. Higgins as my wide receiver 1 and 2 leagues, and I am disgusted. I drafted running backs early, and I'm happy with
Which
my
was the
running back
right move.
situation.
Which was the right
Yeah,
move this year.
yep. And thankfully, I have some guys on my wide receiver bench, but you never want to see your number one overall at a position play like that. Can we talk about another team whose offensive line sucks?
Go
The
for it.
Houston Texans.
Oh,
They are
my
0 and
God.
3. They had every chance in the
Oh
world to
my
win that game
God.
against Jacksonville. Is trying to hand teams the
Yeah,
game.
Jacksonville. Yeah,
And Stroud threw a boneheaded pick though, like towards the end of this game with 4 minutes left to lose. It's just disgusting what they do.
The Texans, and we talked about this a little bit before. I think it was Phil that was defending. Was it Phil that was defending Stroud? He's regressed. I mean, we talk about their offensive line all day. We could talk about it all day, but Stroud can just not. I mean, like you said, that pick was. I have no idea why he threw that ball. I have no idea why he threw that ball. That was read so well. I don't remember who picked it, but he read him like a book. I think that another team, if you have like Nico, sell him.
I think Nico can still produce this season, but not at his draft capital.
No, he's not a round 1 wide receiver this year.
No, he's not.
Which sucks.
I'd give him like 3, probably wide receiver, like round 3 type of grade.
Yeah.
Well, he was struggling this past game, and then he caught that 50-yard touchdown. So,
yeah,
it was a busted coverage.
It was a very busted coverage. All right, so I lied. There's more games that I want to talk about before we get into the top 3. Chiefs-Giants. Chiefs don't look that great, but the Giants looked awful. Jackson Dart was just officially named the starting QB for next week. I don't understand how you don't develop plays for a top 3 wide receiver in the league. Top 5. I'll give him top 5. Top 5 wide receiver in the league. I think before the fourth quarter, Malik Neighbors had 2 targets. I understand that they were sending him deep every play. How about design something for him, a quick slant route, something over the middle, something short. Let him do his work. I mean, the guy can run the ball after he catches it. I'm going to bring him up a little bit later in another one of our segments, but yeah. I just can't believe that Malik Neighbors had, I think, 2 catches on the day for a total of like 9 yards or something like that. It was just, DeBoe, what are you doing? I don't understand.
It was a bad thing that the Giants were as successful offensively against the Cowboys that they were, because it was another week that they gave Russell a leash he should not have had. The Russell that we know is the Russell that we just saw in week 3, the Russell that we saw in week 1. The Cowboys, okay, here's the thing I'm going to say for fantasy purposes and betting purposes. If there is a wide receiver that's talented playing against the Cowboys, take their over.
Yeah.
Right? That's just, their secondary is atrocious. It gave Russell an extra leash because he did go off, but then he also threw that pick at the end of the game that made them lose. The reason they don't do things for Neighbors when Russell is quarterback, he doesn't have zip. He can't get outside the pocket and throw really as much as he used to. And everything that they do is throw it over the top, because that's how they beat the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys' corners and safeties are bad. I'll give the Chiefs a pretty substantial upgrade over what the Cowboys have. And you're seeing a lot more why guys like Tyreek Hill can't beat teams over the top. You've heard of the 2 shell, right? Or the 2 safeties over the top. Soft shell, that's what it is. Soft shell with 2 safeties over the top. A lot of teams do that. The Chiefs are a team that will do that, and they have a good DC. So they definitely – the Giants have to scheme to get him open. But against a team like the Chiefs, they're going to try to scheme your best player out of the offense. So you have to be that much better at getting him the football, and they didn't do that. But
yeah, agreed.
Honestly, that was the easiest line to read of the week, was the Chiefs -6. They weren't going to lose to the Giants.
I wish they did. That would have made me very happy.
That would have been amazing. But yeah. That was too obvious.
But I think that the Cowboys defense talk really transitions us into the last game I want to talk about before the top 3 is the Bears-Cowboys game. I mean, the Cowboys defense just looks really bad. Romo Odunze, though, looks really good. He's clearly their wide receiver 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for all you DJ Moore drafters, hence me, Rome Odunze is their clear wide receiver 1, and he will be getting a lot more targets than DJ Moore. Rightfully so. I mean, Rome I've been seeing some of his route running. He can adjust on the fly if his route is busted. He'll adjust and get open for Caleb Williams, who is also
Caleb's been playing really well.
Caleb's been balling. And again, another guy I'll be talking about later. But yeah, so that just goes to show last week when people are talking about, oh, were the Giants good or was it the Cowboys' bad defense? It was the Cowboys' bad defense. Yeah, the Giants didn't look good. But so let's move on to probably
Can we do one thing before?
Yeah.
Can we do one thing before? I just want, for anyone that doesn't know, since we did talk about the Cowboys, CD's out for probably 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
We had 2 season-ending injuries that were just brutal to watch. Najee Harris. I saw you have both Najee and James Conner on your dynasty team. Mm-hmm. So you had 2 season-ending injuries at the same point in time. Najee tore his Achilles on a play-action pass. Just went to go plant. Achilles gave out on him. We had James Conner, who tore some ligaments in his ankle and probably snapped some bones. I didn't see the official diagnosis, but I know it's a very bad ankle injury.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
His career's over.
His career's over. Trey Benson's stock on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's on your waivers somehow, go snag him. I think he's on Yahoo and ESPN, he's only 50 or 60% rostered. Yep. So go snag Trey Benson. He will get the workload. He was already putting up 8 a week with James Conner. Yep. So he can catch the ball. He's pretty much just a younger James Conner that'll be coming in. I don't think he's as good. I won't say that yet. James Conner was a beast, but a great guy to pick up. And yeah, the James Conner injury was one of those injuries where they didn't show it, that it was so bad. Yeah. You saw the beginning of it, and his leg just went, oh, man.
We still have 2 more big injuries to get to as well.
Yeah.
We have a Nick Bosa out for the season.
Yep.
Nick Bosa out for the season. Huge for the Niners defense when they are already struggling offensively to keep guys hurt. And then, quite frankly, one that I think also might be a maybe not career ender, but I think a ending to a great streak that we've seen for the last 12 seasons. Mike Evans he's done. Mike Evans has re-injured the same hamstring that he has hurt for the last 2 to 3 years. Soft tissue injuries like this don't just go away when they're this recurring. I'm sad to say it. This is going to be the season when Mike Evans' yardage streak is going to be snapped, and quite frankly, he's not going to be the Mike Evans that we know and love. He's out of that. He's out of that prime.
I've been saying it all year. When Chris Godwin comes back, Mike Evans was going to be the one to fall off, not Ibuka.
Ibuka's a stud.
Yeah, Ibuka's a stud. It's sad to see Mike Evans go down, though. I mean, you never wish players get injured, even if it's like a rival team or anything, and especially a guy like that that's just been so dominant in the league over the last 12 years. See him go down, which you're right, it's probably not going to end his career, but he will be a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 the rest of his life probably after this, if he decides to come back. Maybe he decides he's done, but he'll come back at the end of the season, and he'll put up, he'll be the wide receiver 3 on the roster when he comes back. I truly believe that.
Do we know how long he's out for, by the way?
They didn't officially put him on the IR yet, but I think he's going to be thrown on the IR because when you're that old with a hamstring injury, you do not recover well.
They said 3 to 4 weeks. That's probably why they haven't put him on IR in case. I think they'll put him on IR.
Yeah. There was even talks of CD going on IR.
Yeah, I saw that.
Everyone's saying he might be back next week. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you can tell he was injured and his ankle was hurting because they brought him in for one more route after he went out.
Yeah, and he just
hobbled off the field. So that
looks like CD's kind of in the same situation, about 3 to 4 weeks. So it will not be surprising if they go on IR. So, hey, good chance to snag someone that Hunter's probably going to go over here in a bit. But let's get into those 3 main games you were talking about.
Let's go. I want to start with the Packers-Browns game. Talk about a very boring offensive game and a wonderful to watch defensive game. If you love watching defense and love watching that magic happen, the Packers were leading this game until I think 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 10-0.
Yep.
And then the Browns put up a field goal, a pick, which gave
Really
them the
bad one on
touchdown.
Love.
Yeah,
Really bad
which gave
one on
them a
Love.
touchdown to tie the game. Then a
Mhm.
blocked field goal.
Did you see what happened like 2 plays before that?
I did. I must have missed it. No,
It was
what?
a clear ball don't lie situation. Josh Jacobs was still up, and they claimed that they had blown the whistle for forward progress when Cleveland clearly stripped the ball, and then like 2 plays later they blocked the field goal.
No, I didn't see that. No, I did not see
Yeah,
that.
they should have had the ball. That was like that was a ball don't lie situation.
Ball don't lie. Ball never lies.
Mm-hmm.
But blocked field goal. Browns go down. I forget their kicker's name. He's
Andre Schmidt, who choked the first game.
Choked the first game, had a rough start to the season, comes back with a 55-yarder to win it. Probably one of the biggest upsets that we'll see this year. Although the Browns somehow always do this because they always have a decent defense, and they'll just hold a team in the game until the end, and then they'll somehow pull it out of their butts.
They have the best defense in the NFL. I will stand by that, but they end up in negative game script so often because of their offense.
I think that was probably the top 2 defenses that just played there.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the under was one of the easiest plays of the season with how both these defenses are playing.
And I think that Tucker Kraft being injured and being kind of limited really hindered them, because that's Jordan Love's guy. They have not figured out who they like as a wide receiver. Matthew Golden, we talked about a little bit last time, has been getting open, and Jordan Love has just been overthrowing him or missing him.
He hit him in stride on one of the ones, and I think Golden should have had a better opportunity to stay in bounds on the play, but he let his momentum carry him out. But also Love had the shot up the field and sent it more towards the sideline when it would have been an easy 95-yard touchdown.
So I think that the hype around Jordan Love is, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's not there, but he's not looking like amazing. He's just been dumping it off to Tucker Kraft, who's been getting him all of his touchdowns and passing yards.
Yeah. He's a good quarterback. He's not great.
Yeah. So that was a big upset of the week, and we really had to talk about that. But the next,
did you hear, by the way, that was the most bet on game in terms of the money line all time?
Really?
Yeah, there was and there's actually some controversy about some calls and some effort plays in this game on the Packers end. Sportsbooks made the most money of all time on this game.
See, here come the conspiracy theories.
I'm not going to say it happened.
Or
I'm not.
Did the NFL make them
$1.2 billion was bet on Packers.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, DraftKings gave him a call and said, "Hey, we'll give you $500 million if you make the Browns win the game." You know what's crazy is I believe that it could happen. I'm not going to say it is because I will never have proof, but I could see that happening. But the next game I want to talk about, Monday Night Football, Ravens-Lions. Complete reverse of the Browns-Packers, where it was an all-defensive game. This was defense didn't show up. Where were they? Who knows? This was all offensive game. I liked the Ravens going into this game, but I think this goes to show that the Lions' offense is back. Their passing game wasn't looking that great, but their rushing game, I mean, David Montgomery was like 130 for 2 TDs. I think what's his name? Gibbs was like 70 or 80 yards, 90 yards for 2 TDs as well. So I don't know if you want to correlate that to the Lions' great play calling and blocking, because they do have a really good offensive line. But the Ravens defense, I mean, they were missing Van Noy and Matabike, which really hindered their rush defense.
It hasn't been good this season. That's the one thing.
Their defense.
Their lines of scrimmage are the worst that I've seen in my lifetime this season.
Yeah. They're losing every snap. It's bad. I don't know what's happening from what we had from the Ravens 2-3 years ago, where they were top 3 defense in the league. Mm-hmm. Now it's looking really bad, and something's got to happen, because that offense can't just carry them and keep putting up 30, 40 points and losing.
Yeah. Their secondary is good. I'll give them that. But their lines of scrimmage is not good. And Henry's third fumble, though.
I was just going to bring that up. This is Henry's second. So third fumble in the year, won a game. Second, probably game-losing fumble. He did it against the Bills,
Mm.
and then does it against the Lions in crucial fourth-quarter drives.
Yeah.
You just can't be doing that when you're a seasoned pro like that. Hold on to the ball. You're right. It was a great punch-out. But you just can't
be fumbling though.
You can't be fumbling the ball in crucial fourth-quarter drives where the Ravens were trying to steal some momentum back.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. And also, Derrick Henry's not the type of guy, unless it becomes a really, really bad problem, he's not going to get benched. So
no. I was not taking it there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a very crucial play. And then,
did you see the fourth down, the fourth down play?
Yeah, where Lamar fumbled the ball and ran backwards.
No. Where the Lions did Goff handed it off to Amon-Ra, who proceeded to take 2 steps and triple option pitch it out to Gibbs to the corner.
I did not see this play. No,
you have to watch the play. I stood up and I was like, "What the heck just happened to Julie?" I was like, "I've never seen a wide receiver take a handoff and then pitch it. It was crazy."
All right, I'll have to go watch that play. But the other thing I want to talk about is the Ravens being at the 2-yard line, first and goal.
Yeah.
And you can't get Derrick Henry into the end zone. 3 times they rushed
their O-line. That's their O-line.
Their O-line could not win against the Lions defensive line, which isn't that amazing. They're not bad, but they're not amazing.
I'd give them probably top 10 defensive lines, but they're not the top end.
It's not a defensive line that should be stopping Derrick Henry on the 2-yard line.
It also showed, though, because did you see how many sacks that Lions defense had? I think it was 5 or 6 sacks. So they were dominating that Ravens O-line.
Yeah, Lamar had to be Lamar, and he was scrambling out, and he was making plays. He had some great scrambles to sideline passes to Hopkins and Bateman. I mean, Lamar is solidified as the number 1 QB in the league in my eyes. I don't think there's a question about it.
I'm still giving that to Josh Allen.
I think that if they were winning these games, Lamar is again should be top in the MVP talks. But they do choke a little bit, and that's the reason why he's not. I mean, like I said, that they had the first and goal, the 2-yard line, don't get the touchdown, and then I don't even remember exactly what happened on the play, but somehow the ball ended up on 4th down, 30 yards back. I don't remember.
Lamar scrambled and he got pushed further and further back. He was trying to do one of his miracle plays.
Yeah.
And what happened was when he was getting tackled, he went to go throw, ball got knocked out of his hand, went backwards. So it just, but once again, you're right. They were inside the 2-yard line and the offensive line could not create at least 1 yard of separation for Derrick Henry to get enough power to go in.
Yeah, which is
when they get down that far, I'm like, oh, easy Derrick Henry touchdown. No.
Yeah, I for sure thought that, but no. All right, so let's talk about game of the week. And I know Noah has some hard opinions about this game. The Eagles-Rams with one of the greatest comebacks that I've seen. I think probably the greatest regular season, my favorite regular season game I've ever watched of the Eagles. Eagles win at 33-26 when they were losing 26-7 at half. Yep. So they held the Rams to 0 points in the second half, and they put up, let me do math real quick, 28 points. No, that's bad math. Was it 26 points? 25 points. 26. I don't know. Whatever it is. I'm not mathing right now. Brain's not working.
They won 33-26.
Yeah.
33 minus 7 is 26.
Yeah, I said that right. All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all in the play calling. The play calling for the Eagles was awful in the first half. And clearly something shifted in the second. I don't know if it switched to Sirianni play calling or if they really put it into Jalen Hurts' hands and let him take over the play calling. But our offensive coach, I'm not even going to say his name because I hate him, is so bad that it's been one of the most boring offenses to watch this year. And it kind of reminds me of the 2023 Eagles a little bit. And there needs to be some sort of change. And we saw it in the second half where we started to play with the players that we have. We started running A.J. Brown down the sideline with Jalen Hurts being able to drop a dime into his hands. Like, that's where it works. Instead of running A.J. Brown 9 yards slant every single play, we sent him down the sideline. Smitty was getting open. We had Goddard was getting some love.
Mm-hmm.
He, didn't have an amazing rush game, but we were starting to be able to run the ball a little bit more. I think he had like 7 yards, 11 yards in the first half. And then, the Eagles had, I think, -2 passing yards in the first half, which is just embarrassing because they had the interception from Zach Bond, which led them down to the first touchdown. And then after that, it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Well, it was really bad. Although I will say one more thing, because I'm going to just keep going on a rant, so I want you to step in. Rams kicker, I don't know his name. They're figured.
It's Matt, isn't it? Matt, no, it's not Matt Gay.
No, Matt Gay is on the Commanders, is he not?
What is it? No, Schrader's on the Colts. I'm trying to. Yeah,
Cardi,
you go.
Cardi.
Oh yeah, Cardi. Joshua Cardi.
I don't know what he figured out, but he figured out something on kickoffs, because we were struggling on kickoffs. He would drop the ball 5 yards in front of Tank Bigsby every single time, and it's crazy. I don't understand.
He couldn't figure out how to kick a field goal, though. So.
Yeah, he could not figure out how to kick a field goal.
We'll talk about this a little bit. I know I'll give you a little bit of a break here. As someone who is a serial Eagles hater, which is funny because we have someone who loves the Eagles, and then we have me and Phil who just don't like them whatsoever. It was frustrating watching the Rams game plan of trying to put that game away. There's some questionable pass interference calls. There was a pretty egregious one in the end zone towards the end of that game when they were trying to put it away and go up by 2 scores. But once again, even the fact that they didn't call that, you kick a field goal, that game's over. You had another chance to kick a field goal to win the game, and you messed it up. The Eagles' game plan changing to that second half, and you're spot on, Hunter. It's the play calling all the way. I do remember what you're talking about 2 years ago, and then Kellen Moore started. Kellen Moore was just last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you could see they spread the wealth. They had, number one, the Rams have a pretty good rush defense. What did we see last year? The Eagles tore the Rams apart, and it's not because the Rams' rush defense isn't good. It's because they had a nice balance of pass to rush. This last game, all the Eagles were trying to do was establish the ground game without throwing the football. You have A.J. Brown, who, if we're talking talent, is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. He needs to be getting the football. Devontae Smith is a top 10 to 15 talent in the NFL. He needs to be getting the football. If all you are doing is running the same predictable game plan, it is going to get stopped. People are going to say that team's bad. No, the play calling was terrible. So I want to say, I'm assuming Sirianni probably took some role in the play calling changes in the second half. The Eagles won that game because they changed how they were playing, and the Rams did not. The Rams they had the same game plan. McVay thought the same game plan from the first half was going to work in the second. The Eagles made adjustments. And once again, at halftime, you're like, hey, what we're doing is working. The Eagles knew what we're doing is not working. So I actually think they got an advantage from this because McVay was too slow to change things in the second half because he thought they had plenty of time. And that's the end of the story. Regardless of any of the calls, only thing I'm frustrated with as kind of an outside fan is the referees saying that they would judge the tush push differently and start throwing flags on false starts. The first time it got ran today, we saw an obvious false start by the right guard at the 1 yard line, and no flag was thrown. So all I want to see out of this is do what you're going to say, NFL. Like, if you want to call it, call the flag, throw the flag for a false start. We can't blame the Eagles for it, that the refs missed it. I will say that fully. This is on the league to actually start establishing this play and dictating how it's going to be. But a really impressive comeback. I'll say the only comeback that, and it's awesome when your own team does it. The Colts, like 2 or 3 years ago, Vikings, it was like 33-3 at halftime, and the Colts blew that game. So, that's the worst thing. Last thing I want to get into before we have our last segment, we have, we didn't really touch on it, but the Bills, 49ers, Chargers, Buccaneers, and Colts all are undefeated still. Yeah, so we'll probably talk about maybe a couple of these teams this weekend. I know the Bucs play the Eagles, and I know Phil's got a couple of plays on that. Anything before we get into our last do you want to do studs and duds, or do you think we talked about it a little bit?
No, let me throw some studs and duds in there real quick. I'm whipping out my notepad for all you watching.
Hunter's fantasy studs and duds.
So I'm not doing guys that like we expect to do well. I'm doing guys that, you know, maybe haven't been the greatest for the studs and they had a great week. My number one stud of the week, Trey Tucker. I think he went for 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. Fantasy wire pickup. Fantasy waiver
I
pickup.
dropped him in our dynasty league.
Yeah, so pick him up.
That morning.
I'm trying to pick him up actually right now in our dynasty league.
Well, I'm going to put him back into my dynasty league because I dropped him because I didn't understand that the taxi squad was just a bench spot that you could throw rookies on. I joined a dynasty league with no rules in place of not knowing what it was. So I was like, well, I need to activate Christian Kirk. I'm going to drop Trey Tucker because he hasn't done anything this week or this season. And then he has 3 touchdowns.
So Trey Tucker, guy we mentioned already, David Montgomery. Not, you know, Jahmyr Gibbs was supposed to be kind of taking over a lot more this year. He showed out against the Ravens, 2 touchdowns, over 150 rushing yards. Another guy who's actually been doing well the first 2 weeks, but someone that I and a lot of people didn't expect to be doing this well, Caleb Williams. He has been finding his guy in Roma Dunze and really putting up numbers. Another guy who he didn't have like an insane game putting up over 20 points, but I think he's going to start to shine. And I've been holding him on my bench for a while. Quinshon Judkins. He will clearly be the Cleveland Browns running back 1. 10 rushes for 90 yards and a touchdown. Touchdown was a 1-yard touchdown, but he got in nice and easy. So I think that he's going to start to ball out for the Browns. And then my last guy on my studs is going to be Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews really did well for the Ravens. I believe 2 touchdowns, 90 yards, like 8 catches. So Mark Andrews showed out to where people are starting to say he's a little bit washed. I did see a little bit of action from Kohler and the Ravens this past game, but Mark Andrews showing that he's still that guy. So he was a stud this week. Now let's move on to the duds. The Dudskis. Guys that didn't have great weeks. They are supposed to be doing well. Number 1 guy, and I'm going to tell you right now, we said it earlier, Chase Brown. Sell him now. I just traded him away.
Bengals offense. Just say Bengals offense.
Bengals offense. Yeah, honestly, Bengals offense are all duds. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all duds. Sell them all now. Unless they get Jameis Winston, then you keep Jamar Chase and T. Higgins because you'll be getting 90 points a week from the 2 of them. Second guy got shut down, Derrick Henry. I only put up about 10 points this week. I think he had like 50 or 60 rushing yards. He did have a touchdown. But, I mean, yeah, someone that you're expecting to have 80-plus rushing yards a game only really came up with like 50 this week. Talked about this guy a little bit already as well. Malik Neighbors putting up, I believe, 2.3 points, 2.4 points. Absolute dud. Not his fault. All the Giants play calling fault, so don't be worried about him. Keep him on your roster. He will be getting more. Lad McConkey, I think, is a little bit of a dud. You know, again, when I say dud, I think he put up like 8 to 10 points, so not like crap the bed, but someone who last year was putting up 20 points a game, and this year everyone was expecting him to be a clear wide receiver 1. He's still the wide receiver 1, but Quinn Johnson has been getting a fair share of the targets. I think he had 8 or 9 targets last game, and for some reason he can catch the ball this year, unlike last year. And then my last, but not least, dud, Josh Jacobs. The Browns completely shut him down, and he could not get anything going. So there's my fantasy studs and duds for the week. Let's move on to some betting and underdogs.
I forgot to mention this earlier. So for anyone, we do put the records into it. This was the college records that I did not say before we got into it. I have a slim 1-game lead over Hunter at this current point in time for the college ones. I'm 16-9, Hunter's 15-10, and Phil is 13-12. We all went 4-1 last week, so good week for us. But I have a slim 1-game margin. We will always update those records in our post for those games. So yes, now we're going to get into, and Julia came up with this idea. How do we feel about top dogs and underdogs or something like that?
Top dogs and underdogs? What do you mean? We're picking
Yeah,
a
something like that.
favorite to win?
Yeah, no, top, like just like our top bet kind of thing, just
Okay.
to keep it on the dog train. That's what we had for the graphic. Can always change that, but yeah, we are posting these as well. Phil's team of Destiny is getting posts, and honestly, we can start making a graphic for Hunter Studs and Duds as well, so we can have all this stuff up for you guys. So this past weekend, in recap, we had a money line underdog segment where we pick a team that is 3.5 points or more behind, or what would you say? Not, or I don't know how to word this. How do you say it?
They're 3.5 point underdogs. 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 point or more underdogs, I guess. So in those, we had a 1-0 record from me and Hunter this past weekend, and Phil went 0-1, heartbreaking. Phil had the Rams, so they blew the game. I hit at a plus 190 on the Carolina Panthers, plus 190. I said that wrong.
Panthers.
On the Lions, which for some reason I don't know why they were that big of underdogs, and Hunter hit on the Carolina Panthers. So our best bets that we had, I unfortunately took Ramondre Stevenson, who can't hold on to the dang football. That was an easy hit. And also, fun fact, I bet Ramondre 10 plus rushing yards in the first quarter, and he was easily going to hit that, and he fumbled. So he got benched, didn't get a carry the rest of the first quarter, so heartbreaking loss for me there as well. Not that even matters. I lost my bet anyways. I said Steelers' rush defense was terrible. He didn't hit it, so maybe they're not that bad. Hunter also went 0-1. He misspoke and said the Eagles-Rams under.
I can't believe I said that under.
The overhit. So Phil was the only one to win his best bet of the week, which was Jets +7, which did not look good for the majority of that game. And the Jets came back and made it interesting. Yeah.
Another blocked. All right, I just want to before we jump in, I think it was like 6 blocked field goals or
I said that.
Points
what was going on?
That was insane.
Yeah.
Jets, another one. The only reason that they hit that +7 is because of their blocked field goal. So anyway, continue.
If this happens as a trend, I've been seeing way more missed kicks and blocked kicks this season than I feel like I have before. So if that trend happens, that's going to be an interesting topic. But so I am keeping track of our units that we are up. So basically every type of spread that we do, there's going to be a unit attached to that. So like most best bets that we pick are going to be -110s, or maybe we'll pick a touchdown score like I did today. But I am in the lead currently, up 0.9 units. I hit my money line. I lost my best bet. Hunter is up 0.8 units. So he did the same exact thing that I did. And Phil is down 0.1 units. He missed his money line, but hit his bet. So if that ends up happening, you're going to end up being a little bit negative, but just barely. So Hunter, before I say me and Phil's, what do you got for your underdog of the week and your best bet?
All right. So they were my underdogs last week. They showed out, put up 30 against the Falcons. I can't believe they're 5.5 underdogs to the Patriots, who a team that just fumbled the ball and had a ton of turnovers against the Steelers. Give me the Panthers. I'm taking their money line, but they're set at 5.5 right now. I think Panthers win this game again, another game. I think it's unbelievable that they're set at 5.5. I think if anything, they should be favored to win this game, or a 1.5, 2.5. But 5.5, I think, is absolutely insane. So give me the Panthers as my underdogs of the week again.
Do you know what their do you have the odds written down?
-110.
What? No. Oh, so you're taking their money line and spread?
Oh no, sorry. They're it's +190 for the money line.
Okay. And what's your spread going to be?
And I'm not taking a spread this week. I'm taking an over. Clearly saying it, over. Give me the Eagles Buccaneers over.
Okay. What's that set at right now?
I think that setting that game at 43.5 is a little disrespectful to those two offenses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hammering that over.
Okay. And it is currently priced at -110. So obviously these may change along the path. We are going to stick with what we picked during the show because that's where our brains were at when that was there. So I like the picks. I thought it was very surprising. I thought you were going to pick the Panthers plus as your best bet and the money line. So that's interesting. So Phil did that very same thing. Phil is staying on his Eagles hate train and has picked the Bucks money line and the Bucks plus 3.5 as his 2 plays.
I don't even think you should be allowed to pick the spread as your bet of the week for the game you're picking underdog.
How
That's
about we make that a
disrespectful.
rule starting next week since he's not here?
That's a crazy
So
thing to do.
new rule post this week: you cannot pick the spread of the underdog that you are picking. So mine, I'm going to go with my team. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts at plus 154 against the Rams in LA. I just think Daniel Jones has been playing out of his butt. The offense looks on point. Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the NFL at this very point in time. I don't think there can really be an argument about someone else being better than him. He looks like a stud. Their O-line's playing well, and Daniel Jones looks good. So,
you know how I was talking about I was between two?
Yeah.
They were my second one.
Yeah.
The Colts.
There weren't a lot of underdogs that I liked this week that were sitting around that like 3 to 5 point range. Yeah. The Panthers were my second. So we picked the opposites. And mine, I'm actually going to take my best bet as a Brock Bowers touchdown. Oh. That is priced at plus 130. My reasoning behind the Raiders and Brock Bowers getting in the end zone, the Bears secondary is suspect. We've seen that quite a few times against some teams. The Lions lit them up. I think the Raiders can sling the rock a little bit, and their secondary is bad. So I think this could be a little bit more of a high-scoring affair, like the Commanders game just was with them. So give me Brock Bowers. He hasn't gotten the end zone yet. Every week he's going to get a little bit healthier from that injury. So I'm going to take him at plus 130. And that's going to wrap up our podcast for the day. Got a nice full episode in today, hour and 20 minutes. Once again, you guys only have one to listen to this week now. So got college and NFL all in one. Hunter, you got any closing statements?
Go Birds. And thanks y'all for listening. Go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and TikTok. And we want to hear from you guys. Say it every week. I believe it. I fully believe it. Mm-hmm. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys want to hear. I want to hear if you guys think our bets are good. If you're tailing us, let's go. Let's ride. I'm out.
Yeah. And we got, once again, we're kind of settling in a little bit here. Our main goal is to get all three of us on a weekly basis. I think that should be our first thing. But life happens. We're going to get us all on here soon. And we got a lot of content to go over on a week-to-week basis, as you can tell from this episode. So if you like the segment styles, like Hunter said, let us know. Follow us on TikTok. We are releasing every live video that we take on here on YouTube. So if you are not a fan of listening and you want to watch us as well, go on YouTube. We are posting our live full podcast video. On top of that, we are releasing shorts on TikTok and Instagram. Please give us a follow on there. If you follow us on Instagram, follow us on the other two. You're going to get a lot more of our content. We release good graphics every week, so you know and you can keep up with your favorite football guys. Once again, got merch around the corner that we don't have a set date on that, but we will keep you guys up to date with that. And just give us a follow, listen, tell all your friends and family about us. We love doing this, so we're going to keep it up. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.